Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Choose a Happy Day podcast. My name is Lorraine Toth, and today I have a very special guest, my guru, my Toth. If you've seen the movie Eat, Pray, Love, her name is Deborah Hanlon. Welcome, Deborah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Yes, of course. So today we are going to help people who are maybe stuck in the dating app scene or maybe newly single, divorced, whatever, attract a new mate, right? A new partner. So today I wanted to dive into those tips, that they can use to sort of manifest the perfect partner. But before we get into that, I wanted to tell the audience a funny story about me using you and your intuition to steer me away from maybe the less than ideal partners is what we'll call them.
Perfect.
So
people that don't resonate with you.
Yes. So and flashback to 2018, I was on all the dating apps, just scrolling and trying and just going out on any date, basically. And I would send pictures to Deborah, who made me promise to do this after one really bad one. So she would look at the pictures and read this guy's, I guess, energy. Is that what you were doing? So if you can speak on maybe how can, women looking on Tinder or whatever, Hinge, how can they look at a person's photo and know what the energy is? Because the ones I was sending you were clearly horrible. So
they were.
Yes.
They were. I remember it well. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, no.
Oh no. He looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Do you want me to give them the backstory? So I just want you guys to know she's so good. I was like, no, he's perfect. He's so smart. I have my friend who is a cop pull this guy's record. Come to find out, he's wanted in 3 states. He has no driver's license. He went to jail for forging checks. Okay. And there was like all these warrants out for his arrest. Okay. So she was really spot on that. Yes, no, this is not energy I should be dealing with. But go ahead. How did you know that?
It's a feeling that knowing is a skill to be developed. It's a skill we all have. It's not a gift. It's a skill. And it is easier to observe somebody else's people rather than our own. So I'm going to give you that.
All right. Thank you. Because I definitely didn't see the wanted in 3 states part.
So there's that. But there's first, again, everything I always talk about is like, come back to self. When we're in this state of desire, meaning desiring that someone else complete us or someone else fills in the blank or someone else's energy validates our own or helps us to be ourselves and kind of gives ourselves that credibility to ourselves. We have to be very mindful of that conditioned tape about, a partner, because there was a lot of that in there as well. Of like, I'm only whole if, or I'm only good if I have somebody who loves me. Those are tapes that people carry, and they're not very favorable tapes. They're not tapes that typically will end us up in a good place. That's a little bit different than when I feel good with myself, I have a partner who completes me or who's the other half of me. That's a little different. So first you have to be really mindful of what is it you're looking for and what do you think that's going to say about you?
Yes. That
partner, because that's what you're really after when you're looking for a partner. And we're socialized creatures, it's out there. Of course we want a partner or maybe several partners. It depends on what you're looking for again. But really the first thing to ask is what do you think that a partner is saying about you to the world? Okay. If you're alone, and I know a lot of people who don't want to be alone because they don't want to be seen as lonely. So if you don't want to be seen as lonely, either by your ex, because there's always that too. Like, oh, I'm going to get the hottest person ever to make them so angry. You know what I mean? There's that. And let's be honest, if you want to do that, you can do that.
Yes.
Just be honest with yourself that that's what you're doing versus trying to fill in a narrative that's not so true.
Okay.
So it's all about the narrative. What is a partner saying about me, to me, and then to the world? If you want someone who's just going to look good for you, then that's what you're going to get.
Okay.
Someone who just looks good for you.
Good. Okay.
So we have to be really, really careful and mindful.
Okay.
What is that tape? You know, you have people who have moms that say, oh my gosh, women can't make it on their own. Still in 2024.
Yes.
That's not really true. So is that's a tape that you're pushing. So really be aware of what does a relationship mean and say about yourselves.
So when they're looking through these dating app photos, the hot guys, okay, let's sit with that, right? And see, what does that mean to me?
Totally.
What am I trying to fill? What hole maybe?
Totally.
Like what's lacking?
Sense of lack.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it doesn't, let me also make sure that I clearly, just a good looking guy doesn't mean he's not worth, it doesn't have value and worth. It's really about, are you going after this person because they look?
Yes.
Only because they look good. Maybe that's the first thing. I mean, attraction is a human biological thing. And then you got to look at the next layers.
Yes. Can you talk to them? Right.
Can you talk to them? Can they talk to you? Really, when it comes to dating, watch behavior.
Okay.
Behavior says everything. It's, if they say, hey, I'm going to text you at 8, and they do, well done. Hey, I'm going to text you at 8, they don't. Now they didn't. Okay. Sometimes people get busy, whatever. Do they have a big story?
Yes.
Or does 3 days go by? Really look at behavior. If someone's not engaging and holding their word, not worth your time.
Okay.
Ever.
So it's truly actions speak louder than words, right?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Yes.
And words are a love language, right? For a lot of women. So words, what we're told, is one thing. Oh, it feels good. Oh, he said he loved me on the second date. To me, that's like major red flag, by the way. Major.
Red flag.
Huge red flag. The speed with which a relationship accelerates, red flag.
Okay.
Because anything in life, and I always like to look to nature to see like how would nature handle this? Anything that takes a really long time to create in nature also takes a really long time to destroy.
Oh.
So a mountain takes a really long time to make. It's going to take a really long time to destroy a mountain. Same thing with everything we do. Anything that's fast and furious is also potentially able to be destructed fast and furiously. And relationships tend to really follow that. Okay. Not all. There's not all absolute. So I know people are going to respond, no, I met my person and we got married 2 days later. And that's great when it works, but that's the exception.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the, inverse of that, can there be too long? So you're in a relationship and this person won't commit, or can it be a too long of a path? Is that a possibility too?
That's a great question. Yes, if one wants something different, if one wants marriage and moving in and you've been together for 12 years and the other one's not, well, that's probably not going to change. So you're probably not on the same page as much as we like to tell ourselves. Yes. And we're really good, all of us, human beings are really good at telling ourselves a story and then trying to make ourselves believe it. But our intuitive system is going, red flag, like, hold on, this isn't feeling good, and it will ignore it instead of addressing it because we're afraid. We're afraid, well, what if I do address it and then we break up? Well, that's painful.
Yes.
We don't want that. But also, what if you address it and you talk about it and open things up and move it to a different layer? There's that possibility as well. So anything we're stuffing and holding inside because we're fearful, oh my gosh, that's the exact thing you need to address and talk about.
Talk about it, get it out in the open, and then go from there.
Absolutely.
And then it's up to you, right? It's your decision, right?
It always is.
Well, it's both decisions.
It's both decisions, except that if someone says, listen, I just want to meet up on Tuesday nights and every other weekend, and that's what they can give, but you want something more, you're on two separate pages. So it's probably not going to work. Okay. Probably. Again, there's no absolutes in the universe. So yes, sometimes that does work. But you have to be really honest with, not selling yourself a story. Well, it's okay because I really look forward to Tuesdays. And you know what? Like I want the weekends anyway with my girlfriends. And even if that's not true, sometimes we tell ourselves a story. So we have to be really honest of like, no, that doesn't feel good for me. That's not enough for me.
Okay.
That doesn't mean you get to have what you want, but it does mean that you're taking care of your own energy field and paying attention to your own self in that dynamic.
Okay. So maybe when they're begin dating, is that when you should let your intentions be known and, you know, your wish list kind of, you know, at what point in the relationship are people supposed to put it out there? You know, I'm only looking for a Tuesday person, you know, or I want to be married and have 10 kids.
Yep.
You know, at what point do you discuss that?
Hard to say. It's so hard to say. I don't think there's like a concrete time. I think there's sometimes it's too hard, too fast. Like, hey, listen, I'm on a first, second date, and I want you to know I'm looking for somebody to have 10 kids. I don't know how many people are not going to run from that.
Yes.
First, second, 19th relationship, whatever, a lot of people might run. So you have to kind of, again, watch behavior. You know, dating is really a behavior observation more than anything else. But we tend to get stuck on the chemical attraction, physical attraction, and the story.
Okay.
And when we're in the story and we don't watch behavior, that's when we kind of go awry. Also, you know, especially when like as you've been married before or, you know, people then our patterns are kind of set. When we're looking at relationships, I've noticed this. Relationships that start, say, at 20, 21, 22, 23 are very different than relationships that start at like 45.
Yes.
You know, because we've had patterns, we've had lives, maybe you have children, careers built, destroyed, created again. I mean, you're in a different landscape later in life. So you have to be mindful of how much of your life have you created that you like, that you want to keep, and who's on the same board to keep that trajectory.
Okay.
So it's a little trickier, I think. You know, when you're inviting kids into the mix and all of that, that's a different dance.
Okay.
So more time. I usually am a huge proponent of, you know, people who take a really long time to get to know each other before they post on social media that they're together, before all the things that are like, oh my gosh, look at that, he says I love me. I've had this a million times. People say like he's professing his love for me, and I'm like, it's been a week. I don't want anyone professing love for me after a week. They haven't seen all the sides.
Yes.
And no one is perfect. And there are people who resonate well with us. And I'd really like for us to start using this term, whether someone resonates or not for us, especially in the world of social media, because people say, I hate so-and-so. I can't stand this. Instead of that, it's a little softer to say that doesn't resonate with me. That person, it doesn't make them bad or not good at what they do. That doesn't resonate for me.
Okay.
There's certain types of music, right, that don't resonate for us. We don't say, I hate it. We don't prefer it. So maybe we should start getting into the mindset in general out there of realizing, well, that person's energy doesn't resonate with me.
Yes. Really sit with it, right? And feel how their energy is. You know, is it black energy? Are you anxious when you're around them? Do you feel calm? Do you feel safe, right? Those are questions.
Are you constantly questioning, like, are they around for me? Do they want to be here? Well, you know, have they called you? Have they showed up? Have they gone on dates? Do they keep coming back? Then that would be a yes. Have they ignored your text, not talked to you, ghosted you, then called you for a hookup? No.
Yes, probably not a good
Probably
resonation.
not. Or unless that's what you're looking for. Right. You know, that could be fine too. You have to be really clear of what do I want? Do I want somebody who's just a fly-by-night, which is totally fine, especially if you're an adult, it's totally fine. But be honest with yourself.
Okay.
Most people say they want that. Most people say they want it, but that's not what they're really wanting.
Right. They actually
females.
want it.
And again, my population that I sit with mostly is females, so I can only speak from my experience with the population I work with. But females that say, no, I just want somebody to hook up with, usually that's not the case in the long term. Yes. And be honest with yourself on that.
Okay. Well, that brings me to my next question. And so can we actually manifest? Can we use law of attraction to find our ideal mate? And the reason I'm asking that is because the last time you and I were on air together, it was with iHeartMedia.
Yep.
It was an hour and a half. We had the headset on. I came down to you. It was my first time ever. And you said, I look like Gwen Stefani. And I said, yes, I'm looking for my Blake Shelton. And that's the story I kept telling all of my friends. And they're like, Lorraine, you live in upstate New York. You're never going to find Blake Shelton. I'm like, no, he's going to play guitar and I'm going to find my Blake Shelton. Well, wouldn't you know, a year and a half ago, I found my Blake Shelton. So I feel as though I manifested my Blake Shelton. Mm-hmm. I now have a boyfriend who sings and plays guitar to me at least 3 or 4 times a week. Mm. And I truly feel as though I manifested my Blake Shelton. So is it a thing where we can manifest what we're looking for in a partner?
Great question. Yes, but the word manifesting, we have to be really careful with, because a lot of times it's posed out in the world that it's like, I dream of Jeannie and boink, like boom, I manifest. And it's not quite that. Mm-hmm. It's more of that observation of, again, awareness. Manifestation is another word for awareness. Okay. What am I choosing to focus and place my awareness on? Mm-hmm. That was important to you.
Yes.
I want my Blake Shelton. So your awareness was tuned into the energy of someone who could play the guitar and sing to me, mm-hmm. essentially.
Yes.
And so that's what your energy field put out into the universe, which is what comes back.
Okay.
So it's not, manifesting is not that immediate, and it's put out there like that. And it's a super disservice to humans who think that they're doing the right things. How come I can't manifest this? Mm-hmm. It's where your attention is. If your attention is, I want Blake Shelton and I'll never have him, then that's what I'll never have him is. Yes. What. So really, again, self-awareness comes back to self always. What am I focusing on? Am I focusing still on the past partners who did X, Y, Z? Mm-hmm. If you are, I promise you will manifest another partner that has the same patterns of X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
So what are we focusing on?
All right. So focus on what you guys want, right? And go there. Put that energy there.
On what you want and what shows up. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
And another question I had was, when someone says your energy is amazing and, how to give off an aura of being available. Maybe if you're out in a social setting and you're single and you're trying to attract a partner, mm-hmm. how do we give off that vibe of, hey, come talk to me? What are we attracting in?
Yeah, great question. And a lot of people probably not like this answer. Be who it is you want to attract. So when we want to say, how do I put off the vibe of someone to come up to me? Mm-hmm. Go up to them.
Oh. Reverse
it. Show them. Mm-hmm. If we're sitting there going, oh my God, I'm putting out vibes. Come to me. That's not really vibes of come to me. That's I'm terrified to talk. And I'm hoping someone will find me. Instead, go out and have the energy of, oh my gosh, that person's pretty cool. Let me go talk to them. Yeah. So be the person you want to attract.
Okay.
And that's really a great exercise, because then you'll start to notice, oh, wait, I'm being very shy. Mm-hmm. So who are you going to attract?
A shy person.
Probably someone shy. Or shy is a hard energy to create attraction, right? Because it's a separate, right?
Okay.
So it's be who it is you want to attract. You want somebody who's outgoing? Mm-hmm. Be outgoing.
Okay.
But authentically outgoing.
Yes. And give off that energy, right?
Exactly.
And maybe don't sit there, with closed off body language, right? Open up, right? The
Absolutely.
heart chakra,
Whatever
open it up, welcome in.
Absolutely. Talk face to face versus side to side. I mean, if you're really going into the body language, but be what it is. Think of how you appear to others. Is your energy like, yeah, no, thanks. No. Well, that's probably giving off the vibes that, no, you're not really into that person.
Okay.
Are you turning to look at that person? Are you giving eye contact, which I'm terrible at eye contact. I get so shy, believe it or not, with eye contact. But are you, what are you giving out? It's be who you want to attract.
Okay. And that is my last question is, when you are dating and you're putting out these pictures online on your dating profile, ladies, if you are putting out pictures, where with revealing clothes, right? And bikini shots, then, party shots where you've got a martini in your hand, you are giving off a different energy. You're giving off that party girl, that sexual energy, right?
Totally.
So maybe think about what pictures you're putting out. Should you be putting out a picture of you reading a book or walking your dog, right?
Anything authentic, anything that's like, hey, this picture was taken of me on the beach with a bunch of my girlfriends and it was real.
Yes.
Anything that's really, photoshopped and a lot of time goes into create a narrative about you. You're selling a narrative. You're selling a certain layer of yourself that may not be the whole kit and caboodle. And so be aware of that. Yeah.
Yes.
If you're going to say, hey, look, I'm a party girl, and you are that and you want that, then be that and attract that.
Yes.
Everything's great. But if you're not really that, but you're trying to act and show that you're that, well, then you're not being authentic and you're not going to get somebody authentically matched to you.
Okay. That's great.
Yep.
All right. Well, the last thing that I had was to be aware of what is worth your energy. So that is my last card here. So how can we really tune into what is worthy of our energy?
Worthy. Anything that feels right is what's worthy.
Okay.
Anything that feels not right is not worthy. Very simple.
That's it.
That's it. There's nothing bigger. Does it feel right? Yes. Or again, does it feel right? I don't know. Okay. Then we wait. And we're patient. We don't just have to have like everything in life an on-off switch. This is right, that's wrong. This is worthy, I'm not worthy. Oh my God, that tape's coming. We're way in our heads too much, overthinking. Drop into the feeling self. How does this feel to me? Most of the time, we probably feel I don't know. And again, that's really important, that I don't know space to honor that. I don't know. I'm going to need more time. We wouldn't say to a child that we wouldn't go up to some random child and say, how do you feel about me? Right? We wouldn't do that.
Yes,
And that child might like back up and be whatever. We present and we approach a child with a certain type of awareness and we allow the child to sort of warm up to what they're comfortable with. We have to remember that we are that inner child.
Okay.
So we have to recognize and really be mindful of that inner self of like, oh, I don't know how I feel. I need some more time.
Okay.
Or, oh my gosh, this is so fun and exciting and I'm all about it. Or, oh, nope, that's a no.
Okay. And I'm sure there's people out there who are like, what does she mean by feel? So maybe it's when you sit with that thought of, this new job, do you get anxious, right? Do you is it like a bad, like you can't breathe, you can't get it in the air? Or is it more of an excited, bubbly energy, right? Is that what you mean by feel it?
Totally. And one of the workshops we did, it's my favorite, and because people don't know how to feel. So then a nice shortcut exercise of, I don't know how I feel, is I call it unconscious yoga. And it's the posturing. So if you think of a job and think of the job that you have in mind, say you just were, they say, oh, you're hired and you're not sure how you feel about it. Have your body go into the posture that makes you think when you think of that job. If the posture is, oh my God, that's probably a no.
You probably shouldn't take that job, right?
Probably a no. Why do I say that? Because anytime we constrict or ball up our energy, it means we're feeling afraid or scared or something not right. We're going into that like protective space. If it's, if we're wider, or even if we're just in a neutral state of, I don't know, that's okay. I have more to know about that. So same thing with a relationship. How does this person make me feel? If it's, okay, that says a lot. We don't need to know